All right, guys, so let's get right into today's podcast. Number one question we're going to get into it nice and spicy. In a relationship, who should say, I love you first? Should it be the male or the female, whoever feels it first? We're going to everyone's opinion. I'm probably going to answer last. Right away, Alex, take it away. Who do you think should answer first? Who do you think should say first, I love you in a relationship?
Woo! It's a tough question because like it comes down to it depends if you're playing the game. So like a lot of people really do play games. There is this element of people don't want to expose their feelings in relationships or in early relationship dynamics, right? So it's tough to say who should say it first necessarily. However, if you're looking at it from like a a rational perspective, you should say that the person who feels it first should say it.
Right. That's what you're saying.
I personally am not usually the first to say it. Pretty much in every situation I've ever been in, I really wasn't the first one. But, it really just comes down to, if you're willing to put yourself out there and be the first to say it, then I think you do it. Bianca, have you ever said you love somebody first?
In my most recent relationship, I was the one who said it first, but in my relationship from years ago, he said it first, I think.
And
I have a question about that.
And in those situations, how did it feel when you said it first or the other guy or the guy said it first? Like that's really because that really allows us to get a in-depth perspective on like the difference.
So like as a girl, you always want the guy to like be obsessed with you and like you more than you like them, but that's not the case most of the time.
Right.
So I accidentally said it first because my boyfriend at the time was in Virginia for work, and I was like, oh, I think I love you.
Well, there you go. That's one way to do it.
Let's say you're in a relationship and you're dating. I don't know how you feel in this relationship, but the guy likes you and he says to you first, love you. Does that scare you off, or is that like too much, or is it something that you're looking for? If the scenario is you guys are in a relationship, let's say you've been in a relationship for 4 months now, right? And he's the first one to say it. Does that scare you off? What's your opinion on the guy saying, I love you first?
So if I was really like into them, I would probably like them even more if they said that first.
Okay.
But I'm a cheese ball.
Oh.
Okay, but assume the scenario is you're in the dating world, you have, options, and you don't know how you feel about the guy, but he says he loves you first. How do you feel? Does that scare you away? Or are you like, wow, this guy is super into me, maybe I'll entertain this?
Oh, I guess there's a lot that goes into that. I mean, do I really like the person?
Yeah, let's say you guys are in a committed relationship, right? And you guys like each other. There's no problems. You guys like each other, I guess, equally in this example, would you say? All right.
I mean, I wouldn't say they're in a committed relationship at this point. I'd say this isn't like
Let me ask you a real question. Stages. Do people like each other equally in a relationship? Or is there always one person that likes the other person a little bit more? What's your opinion on that?
That's a good one.
That's your opinion on that.
Oh.
That's a good one.
In a really healthy relationship, I feel like I don't know.
Ooh. I got a little feedback on that.
I feel like someone always is into it more than the other.
Like
always.
I mean, like
even in a really healthy relationship, I feel like someone's always doing more, or someone's always into it more than the one person. It's kind of fucked up.
That's facts. Even Casey was saying that. Oh shit. even Schmacy from Pittsburgh was also saying after 2 weeks of knowing her, she's like, I feel like I like you way more than you like me. I was like, well, fair enough. I met you a week ago. But
yeah, there's always going to be that. And I feel like in my past experience with relationships and stuff, there definitely is one person that is more into it. And from the guy's perspective, this is my answer to the question, is that in a relationship, who should say I love you first? For me, I reserve it. Personally, the reason why is because I've noticed that there is a change in the woman's mentality the second you tell her that you love her first. The reason why I say as a man to say I love you second is, number one, let the woman come to the point where first of all, the woman is the emotional character. She's the emotional being. When she tells you she loves you, it's genuine and it's not going to change anything. From the man's perspective, I like that, right?
Yep.
Once I know we're in that comfortable zone, then I will move forward, match her energy, and then tell her I love her. The reason why I won't say it first is because as a conscious person, as somebody that is very empathetic. I could feel people's energy and whatnot. I may feel that I love your essence and your being maybe before you love mine, but that's fine. I'm going to wait. As a person, I'm going to hold my cards. I'm going to hold my cards, so I'm not revealing everything, so I'm not scaring you off. And the time that you tell me you love me, I'm going to reassure you, and I'm going to let you know that, guess what, I actually love you too. And it's a harmonic thing. And I've noticed that in many relationships, not just one. Let me know if you guys disagree. In many relationships, not just one, I've seen that when I was the first person to say I love you, something changed. Something changed.
Yeah.
What is your opinion from the male's perspective? What's your opinion on that? I want to hear all the guys' perspective.
So,
then
I
Bianca's.
think there's a lot of validity to what you're saying. You're essentially putting yourself out there, and it really depends if you're willing to do that.
In the past, have you encountered that scenario where you told the girl I love you first, and you felt like something changed?
I've never been the one to say it, so I can't say that I've experienced.
Wow,
that.
you're that guy. You're that guy.
Unfortunately, yeah. So like I've been in that situation where I retain it. Like I just don't want to be the first one to say it.
Right.
And the question is, do you think that's because girls have a plethora of options, right?
Ooh,
so should they? I mean, I'm not saying that like guys don't, but I think it is sort of today's day and age, right? With social media, dating apps, there is a competitive advantage for females because OnlyFans, Tinder, Bumble, they're bombarded, right? So they have a plethora of options. So do you think that because of that, they should be the ones to be like, I love you, to say that, like,
I would love to touch on that. So with modern dating, I feel like with social media, the presence of social media, on average, compared women to men, women have they receive unlimited attention from men on social media. Therefore, my attention is less valuable to them because they receive an unlimited amount.
That's exactly
so the
right.
only way to increase the value is to restrict that attention, I guess you will say. And by me not saying I love you, we're different, right? Meaning that why isn't he falling for me like 100 million other guys?
Right.
Because as a man of purpose,
that's the game.
That's the game right there. But once she says I love you, girl, I love you too. I've been loving you. I've just been waiting for you to confirm it.
Exactly.
We love you, okay?
Yeah.
We might be hard out here, but we love your ass, all right? We love you too, all right? What's your opinion, Ian?
See, my opinion is I think I have a completely different view. I think the moment it slips out accidentally is the first moment where it's actually genuine.
Okay.
That's how I feel about it.
Bianca, what's your thing, girl?
So onto like your Tinder and OnlyFans, and I think that's all bullshit because there are way more attractive females in the world than there are men. So
Agreed.
You guys have way more options.
100% agreed.
Like you go on Hinge or something, every guy on there is so fucking ugly. It's not even funny.
Ooh,
but there's so many attractive girls.
I got something to say.
Like there's way more beautiful women than there are attractive men. Like it's hard out here.
I agree. So touching on that.
It's hard out here too. It's hard out here too.
So touching on that, I 100% agree that there are way more attractive females than there are attractive males. So
I agree with that.
when you happen to become, because anyone could become, when you happen to become an attractive male, meaning that you have your shit together, you have your finances together, you have your fitness together, you have all your shit together, are you more rare than a pretty girl? Oh, shit. Say it with the chest. Shit.
RockHard Podcast.